Warehousing Corporation, has 35 years of wide-range experience in different fields of management in Indian Railways and Concor. Before joining Central Warehousing Corporation as Managing Director, he was working as Executive Director, Projects and Services in Container Corporation of India. He has also previously served with the Indian Railway Service of Mechanical Engineers. We have with us Mr. Ankit Jain, Member Highway Operators Association of India, also the Chief Financial Officer and Head of M&A and Business Development, Cube Highways and Transportation Asset Advisor Private Limited. He's a seasoned infrastructure finance and investment professional with over 14 years of experience in mergers and acquisition, project finance and asset management. We also have with us Mr. Anil Syal, who is going to take the session forward, Co-Chair FICCI Committee on Logistic and Precedent Safe Express, which is India's largest logistic company with a sizable presence in India. And he has been with Safe Express since 1995. So a big round of applause once again for our eminent panel who are here for this very significant session on infrastructure and logistics. We are just expecting the Honorable Industry Minister of Assam to join, and we will be starting with the session. That the Honorable Industry Minister of Assam will be joining in for this session. And in fact, I think we saw a video today morning as well while the inaugural session was going on. And the Honorable Minister had also yesterday spoken about, since we are talking about infrastructure and logistics in the northeastern region, in fact, he had also yesterday spoken in his X-handle about how railway stations in Assam are witnessing a never-before-seen makeover, transformed into the Amrit Bharat stations under the visionary leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. And he should be here any moment now. And then we can start with the session and the deliberations. Can I also request people, they are all scattered here and there, since I think it's the last session, there are less audience here, but it'll be nice if everybody can come closer and the seats, those that are sitting at the back benches, if you can, I can request all of you to please come forward and occupy the seats in the front so that if more people are joining in while the session is in progress, they can take the seats behind. And I think that will be interesting and interactive for the panel as well. So I'll request everybody to please come a little forward. Thank you so much. gentlemen, Honorable Industries Minister Assam is here with us. Can we extend a very warm welcome to him? A huge round of applause. Shri Bimal Bora has joined us. A big round of applause and a warm welcome to him to this session on infrastructure and logistic as part of the Rising Northeast Investor Summit 2025. And as is the traditional practice, we would like to welcome our esteemed dignitaries on dais formally. So I'll request Shri Satinder Kumar Bhalla, Secretary NEC, to do the honors and first welcome Honorable Industry Minister of Assam, Shri Bimal Bora, by presenting a stole to him. I'll also request Mr. Bhalla to welcome all our panelists by presenting a gamcha, which is very integral to the Northeastern culture, to each one of them. To Mr. Anil Sial, Co-Chair FICCI Committee on Logistics. We have Mr. Santosh Sinha, MD, Central Warehousing Corporation. Chair, Member Highway Operators Association of India, and Mr. Rajiv Agarwal, CEO, Bitchem Asphalt Technologies Limited. A very warm welcome to each one of them. And thank you so much, Mr. Bhalla, for doing the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request Mr. Anil Sial, Co-Chair FICCI Committee on Logistics, to present the welcome address and, of course, take this session forward from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diksha. A very good afternoon to all of you. A very good afternoon to all of you, as well as our dignitary on the dais, Shri Bimal Bora especially, who's our Honorable Industry Minister from Assam. He also has cultural affairs as part of his portfolio, that I'm told. I'm sorry, I wasn't much aware of the portfolio before this, so I kind of have to take a leaf out of what has been given to me. I also have on our panel Shri Rajiv Agarwal, who's Bitchem Asphalt Technology Director, Mr. Santosh Sinha, MD, Central Warehousing Corporation, and Mr. Ankit Jain. It is my privilege to host this special session in this very important Rising Northeast Investors Summit, where we focus on the collective attention of one of India's most promising frontiers, that is Northeast. This vibrant region, home to 45 million people, is no longer considered a remote corner, but a rising hub of logistics, connectivity, and cross-border trade. Strategically positioned with over 5,000 kilometers of international border shared with Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, Myanmar, and Nepal, the Northeast is naturally poised to become India's gateway to the Southeast Asia. Today, this vision is being realized with real momentum on the ground. As you might have also heard Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi speak of this in the morning today. Since we are on a panel of infrastructure and logistics, I'd like to take this platform to formally thank the Government of India to have provided with, or to have recently started two very dynamic initiatives that come to my recent, that come in recent memory, and that one of them is PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, and the other one is the National Logistics Policy, where Gati Shakti National Master Plan enables swift infrastructure planning capability. The National Logistics Policy is a formal document that aims in improving logistics efficiency and reducing cost, therefore. If these dynamic initiatives allow me to mention another initiative, which helps stoke the animal spirits of among Indian states, and especially union territories of the Northeast as well. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, started a performance-based recent ranking that captures respective states' efforts and performances. States have to adopt this framework on longevity, efficiency, effectiveness, accessibility, accountability, and digitalization of the processes. The acronym of this is LEADS. Every year, LEADS report is presented by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Each state's and union territories' performance is mapped in various clusters. It was in this very venue at Bharat Mandapam that LEADS 2024 report was released, in which Assam and Arunachal Pradesh were positioned among logistics achievers, validating their effectiveness of these policies efforts. The report, the region is also witnessing unprecedented infrastructure development. Projects like the multimodal logistics parks in Assam, one in Tripura, the Kaladan multimodal project, the dedicated freight corridor are transforming how goods and people move in and out of this region. Most recently, the Shillong-Silchar 4-lane expressway that has been announced by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has set the tone for everyone to see what India intends for its northeastern region. Gateway to the northeast is Assam as the largest state of the region, and more specifically Guwahati is emerging as a logistics nerve center, blending road, rail, air, and inland waterways to streamline distribution across India and beyond. The numbers tell a compelling story as well. With approximately 4% of our country's population coming from this region, it works lockstep in terms of GDP, contributing approximately about 4% of India's GDP. There are 17 air cargo terminals that are flushing out close to about 2.5 lakh metric tons of cold storage and other goods to various parts of the country and beyond. The region has a very fine average of 52 kilometers of national highway per 100 kilometers, 100 square kilometers of area, as against a national average of 41 kilometers. With the central government increasing its focus on infrastructure in Northeast India, we are bound to see increased rail and highway infrastructure in Northeast India. And some of the panel discussions are going to be discussing just about that. Infrastructure is just the beginning. It provides the playground for northeastern businesses to start, sustain, connect, and most importantly, grow into symbols of India's capitalism from there on. From my vantage, where I see there are active interests in green logistics, digitalization, AI-powered supply chains, last-mile delivery solutions that have not only been executed on the ground, but also have various MOUs got signed between yesterday and today morning. This region is not just catching up, it's leapfrogging into the future. Importantly, these developments are inclusive, from small farmers to women entrepreneurs, from truck drivers to logistics startups. Everyone from this region is part of the ecosystem that is developing. With stronger public-private partnership, skill development programs, and a focus on sustainable practices, Northeast India is not only building better roads, it is paving the way for shared prosperity. As we look towards Viksit Bharat 2047, Northeast India will there's no doubt Northeast India will play a crucial role in strengthening India's logistics backbone and enhancing exports, deepening regional integration, and especially to the east of India. Let us now work together to unlock this full potential and shape the future where infrastructure drives opportunity, not just for the Northeast India, but also for the rest of the nation. I'd like to thank you for patiently listening to me. We are going to discuss during this course of this panel various subjects and issues around infrastructure and logistics development in the Northeast region. But before that, we have a small film that I'd like to ask our team to play for everyone. And this is a sectoral highlight for the Northeast India. Please.
Nestled amidst the Himalayas and gateway to Southeast Asia, the northeastern region of India is no longer a hidden gem. It is a rising powerhouse poised to become a vital link in India's growth story and a strategic hub for logistics and infrastructure development. The Northeast is India's natural corridor to ASEAN, sharing borders with 5 countries: Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, Myanmar and Nepal. The region offers unmatched geopolitical and trade advantage. With the Act East policy in motion and investments accelerating at an unprecedented scale, the Northeast is no longer a supply chain endpoint. It is fast emerging as India's next strategic economic gateway. Highways and expressways are rapidly transforming connectivity across the Northeast. Over 5,000 kilometers of national highways have been added, linking remote districts to key trade corridors. Landmark bridges and strategic tunnels now ensure seamless access to even the most far-flung regions. Rail networks are expanding rapidly, bringing seamless freight connectivity to major logistic corridors. With air connectivity expanding at an exceptional pace, the region is now more accessible than ever. Modern airports, advanced air cargo terminals and multimodal logistics parks are reshaping the logistics landscape of the Northeast. The Northeast is witnessing a logistics transformation. Inland waterways are being revived to enhance low-cost, eco-friendly transport. Modern warehousing zones and state-of-the-art freight terminals are being developed to streamline goods movement. With a strong focus on integrated supply chain infrastructure, the region is fast becoming a key logistics hub for national and international trade. State governments are actively enabling investments through streamlined single bindle clearances, investor-friendly land lease policies, capital subsidies and tax incentives, dedicated packages for logistics and industrial infrastructure. These efforts are further strengthened by central initiatives like PM Gati Shakti, the Northeast Special Infrastructure Development Scheme, NISIDS, and Viability Gap Funding, creating a fertile ground for business and growth. Today, the Northeast is not just inviting investment, it is offering opportunity, scale, and impact. Come, invest in the Northeast.
Thank you, team. With this, I'd like to welcome Shri Bimal Boraji for a special address to our audience here. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Anil Sayalji, co-chair FICCI committee, Ankit Jainji, Highway Operators Association of India, Asutosh Gautamji, member, technical IWAI, Santosh Sinhaji, MD, Central Warehousing Corporation, and esteemed dignitaries and distinguished guests. It is both an honor and privilege to address you today at the Rising Northeast Investor Summit 2025, focusing on a sector with immense potential for entire Northeast as well as Assam infrastructure and logistics. In this transformative era, connectivity is the backbone of progress. With unwavering support from the Government of India, dedicated efforts from our state government, and the enthusiasm of the people of Assam is experiencing unprecedented growth in infrastructure and logistics services. Assam serves as the gateway of Northeast India, interconnected by national highways like East-West Corridor, NH27, broad gauge rail lines, and the Brahmaputra national waterways too, facilitating trade and connectivity. Ongoing projects including the Bharatmala initiative and new bridges over the Brahmaputra are enhancing this infrastructure. The state boasts several industrial estates and specialized parks such as the Plastic Park near Tinsukia, Mega Food Park at Tihu, Bamboo Technology Park, and a proposed tea park near Guwahati. These developments support sectors like petrochemicals, fertilizers, cement, and paper. A significant milestone is the development of India's first international multimodal logistic park at Jogeghopa, integrating road, rail, and inland water connectivity. Additionally, the inland container depot at Amingao and border trade points like Sutarkandi and Mankasar facilitate regional trade. Lokapriya Gopinath Bordole International Airport in Guwahati serves as a key air cargo node with an expanded dedicated terminal to support high value and perishable freight movement. Under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Assam's gross state domestic product GSDP has more than doubled from 2.75 lakhs crore in 2018 to approximately 6.43 lakhs crore in 2024-25, reflecting a growth of 13% over the previous year. This growth trajectory underscores the resilience and determination of our people. Nationally, infrastructure investment have surged from 2 lakh crore to 11 lakh crore during the same period, reflecting a commitment to regional development. Looking ahead, Assam is projected to reach a GSDP of 11 lakh crores by 2030, positioning us among the leading states in the country. Focuses on building agricultural markets, storage and knowledge centers to support farmers through establishing cold rooms, banana market in Dorongiri, 40 knowledge centers, and set up a 130-seater digital auditorium facility at Pathorighat. We have also challenges. Despite significant progress, Assam faces lots of challenges. Logistic costs in Assam are substantially higher than the national average due to longer transit routes, infrastructure bottlenecks, and limited multimodal integration. The lack of integrated freight aggregation, containerization, and distribution facilities leads to inefficiencies. Emerging sectors face a shortage of locally available skilled laborers. necessitating retaining an alignment of technical education, frequent floods, riverbank erosion, and difficult terrain increase maintenance cost and disrupt infrastructure impacting year-round logistics. To develop one world-class tourism site per northeastern state to attract global visitors, establish GI status for 200 unique products in northeastern region and foster cultural identity and brand recognition. Bridging the connectivity gap in rural Assam with government support, we have taking lots of initiatives. Assam's infrastructure growth has been significantly bolstered by the support of the government of India. Flagship initiatives like as Bharatmala and PM Divine have played a crucial role in expanding road infrastructure across the state. If we see the way forward initiatives to address these challenges and propel Assam towards sustainable growth, we propose the following initiatives. Utilize the unused Asuk paper mill, land about 200 acres near the upcoming MMLP to host large manufacturing units such as an automobile assembly plant or engineering goods factories. One dedicated heavy industrial park established at Jogighopa. This project would ensure industrial growth in Western Assam and utilize existing government land, fast-tracking development. You all aware that we are developing the Ratan Tata Electronics City at Jagirud, Assam Semiconductor and Electronics Park, including a Tata-baked semiconductor assembly and testing facility, a ground-breaking rupees 20,000 crore chip assembly plant. This hub will focus on electronics and mobile device manufacturing, creating over 30,000 jobs and positioning Assam as an emerging tech and electronic hub. With Numaligarh Refinery Limited expanding its capacity and entering petrochemical production, it proposes a petroleum chemicals and petrochemicals investment region at Numaligarh, which could be house plastic processing units, chemical manufacturing, especially petrochemical units and fertilizer or synthetic fiber plants, creating a petro industry hub in Upper Assam. Set up an EV production cluster near Guwahati or Dibrugarh, including electronic two-wheeler, three-wheeler assembly units or electric bus manufacturing facilities. This cluster can tap into initiatives for EV manufacturing and contribute to sustainable transportation solution. Establish pack houses with pre-cooling at farm gate, cold storage facilities at key production clusters, and refrigerated transport integration with initiatives like Kisan Rail and dedicated air freight services from Guwahati can ensure produce from Assam reaches metros or export markets fresh. It is proposed a green energy equipment park where manufacture solar panels, battery storage system, or green hydrogen electrolysis can be set up. Given Assam's petroleum infrastructure, a green hydrogen production and utilization project could also be envisaged. Develop rail freight terminals near industrial zones to facilitate bulk movement of goods, integrating Assam's industries with the border rail freight network, to encourage use of Brahmaputra river road for heavy cargo, strengthen river ports with modern jetties, and ensure year-round dredging to make waterways a reliable adjunct to road, rail, significantly reducing logistic costs. Ensure reliable power and water supply to new industrial parks by linking with upcoming power projects and strengthening the grid, develop common effluent treatment plants and waste management facilities in tandem with corridor development. Collaborate with institutions like Assam Scale University and local ITIs to train local youth in specific skills required by emerging industries, addressing the skill mismatch and infrastructure comes online. In conclusion, Assam stands at the cusp of transformative journey with strategic investment, collaborative efforts, and a focus on sustainable development. We can build a robust infrastructure and logistic ecosystem that drives economic growth and improves the quality of life for our people. हमारे बीच में राजीव जी भी नॉर्थ ईस्ट से बैठे हुए हैं बिटके में आपको स्वागत करने के लिए भूल गए हैं जो भी है मैं सभी को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं आदरणीय मोदी जी का नेतृत्व में जो ये नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए राइजिंग नॉर्थ ईस्ट इन्वेस्टर जो समिट यहाँ पे आयोजित किए गए हैं मैं सभी को नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आने के लिए निमंत्रण देता हूं आप लोग नॉर्थ ईस्ट को देखिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट को धरती पे बसा हुआ और चीज़ों को अपना आँखों से देखिए वहाँ का जो लोकल एनवायरनमेंट एडवांटेजेस हमारे कस्टम्स कल्चर्स ये एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय हो सकते हैं आप लोग का जो थॉट प्रोसेस है क्योंकि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हर बार उनका भाषण में नॉर्थ ईस्ट को अष्टलक्ष्मी बोल के पुकारते हैं और ये जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट को मोदी जी ने अष्टलक्ष्मी बोल के जो एड्रेस किए हैं डेफिनेटली अभी नई नई सोच से नई नई डायरेक्टिव से हम लोग रीच आउट करना चाहिए हमारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट का सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज है हमारे साउथ ईस्ट एशियन जो कंट्रीज है ड्यूरिंग 4 to 5 hours flying duration we can connect more than 30% of global population और इसका फ़ायदा हम लोग उठाना चाहिए और ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया जी का नेतृत्व में जो ये महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम 2 दिन के लिए आयोजित की गई है मैं मंत्री जी को भी धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ और आप लोग सभी को धन्यवाद देके मेरा वाणी को विराम देता हूँ थैंक यू टू ऑल जय हिंद
Thank you, Shibura. That was wonderful. Most importantly, the highlights of what projects that are ongoing as well as what are upcoming to get an update from someone at your seat, is very enthusing. Definitely a great impetus to the entire Northeast region. If you allow me, I might want to start the session now with some questions around the whole panel. With one absence of Shri Gautam, we had a very wonderful panel if I had him also on board, because we have someone from the highways, we have someone from warehousing, we would have had somebody from waterways had he been around, but that's all right. We'll try and seek Shri Bora's inputs on that, going forward. But let me first start with Ankit, you. My first round of questions for the panel will be around infrastructure. So I'd like to ask you, from your standpoint, you're a member of Highway Operators Association of India. Naturally, all highways are something that you keep a close watch on. How does highways, from your standpoint in the Northeast, enable infrastructural development, which is not only logistical in nature, but any other infrastructure from the tourism standpoint, from public infrastructure standpoint, from industrial standpoint? Any inputs that you'd like to give from the highways standpoint first? Where does that sit from you?
Sure. Thanks, Anilji. So, first of all, see, when I say highways, I think as we all have known that infrastructure is more of a backbone, and infrastructure actually helps everything to grow. So highway is the first important, say, mode of transportation, I would say, because what happens is, see, it allows you that kind of a flexibility. So so when we are talking about, say, movement of, say, people, or movement of traffic, freight especially, what happens is there are two kinds of movement. One is for a shorter duration, say maybe 150 to 200 kilometers, or maybe say 300 kilometers, and one is a longer duration. Today, if you see the patterns that are there in the country, a lot of people actually prefer this kind of a flexibility, and we have seen that people actually use roads for travel even up to, say, 1,000 or 1,000 plus kind of kilometers. And the reason is the kind of flexibility that roads offer, plus the kind of the standards of highways that we have today. This actually allows, I mean, such a good speed of transportation, and the kind of multi-axle vehicles that we are getting today, actually the cost is quite competitive. I mean, even in terms of like a competition to railways. So that is one important aspect why highways are important for all this movement. And secondly, as we discussed, I mean, see, all the other things also. See, for example, tourism project. Now, there are a lot of touristic places in Northeast, but those needs to be accessible. Now, you can't have airports everywhere. So from airports, you need all these highways so that all these places can be accessed. Similarly, you can set up a manufacturing facility, but unless you can move the products from that manufacturing facility to, say, other places or to the places of consumption, you will not be able to grow that kind of a manufacturing facility. So those are some of the things that highway does offer to you. And there are some consolidated models also, like we have seen models in UP especially, wherein entire cities have been developed. So along the highways, all these government bodies like Greater Noida Authority, Yamuna Authority, they have developed cities. And again, they have developed these highways, and then alongside all the other civic amenities, and then educational institutions, manufacturing units, and everything. So highway is very important from that aspect, I would say.
Allow me to ask Shri Santosh Sinha to pitch in. Mr. Sinha, from your standpoint, you're a warehousing man. From your standpoint, logistics, the backbone of logistics is all warehousing. And as warehousing goes, no industry can prosper without an appropriate, proper next generation of warehousing. So from your standpoint, how is infrastructure shaping up in the Northeast when it comes to warehousing? And how does it dovetail to the national development?
Actually, one notion that we are a warehousing company, yes, it does come up from our own name. But you see, we are fast evolving.
If you may, kind of, no, just bring it closer to you.
Okay. as I said, because of the name, it seems that we are a pure warehousing company, which is also not incorrect, because we were the original godowns of the country, starting in 1957, and basically catering to the agricultural goods. But that was a humble beginning from about 7 warehouses in the beginning. Today we have about 546 warehouses. And what has happened is, along the way, in the entire journey, this corporation has evolved into a logistics company. We have been, as you say, is a container train operator for the last about 20 years or so. And we are seeing Northeast as a major logistics hub for ourselves. First of all, on the warehousing front, you see we are already there from the past itself. We have about 2 lakh metric ton space for food grains in the Northeast, spread across all the states in the Northeast. And we are also basically constructing about 6 warehouses now with about 50,000, 55,000 square feet of space, storage space. These are food grain warehouses, but we are also constructing in the newly land acquired at, say, Kamrup, Raha. We are constructing grade A warehouses where you will be having a height of about 12 to 18 meters in the center. But coming to logistics, you see, no warehousing is complete without logistics. And we have started rail operations, and incidentally, one of our first trains to the Northeast, it started just last month. And we have plans to ferry cross-country across the entire spectrum from the west to the Northeast and the Northeast to the west. And this infrastructure, the warehousing infrastructure that we have created, is helping us tremendously in growing up as a logistics expert or a logistics company. So warehouses, they have their own advantages, and I would only like to inform the house that the warehouses which were primarily food grain warehouses earlier, we are now also constructing railside warehouses in the region, and we have taken an initiative to make sure that whatever warehouses we already have in the food grain warehouses we have in the Northeast, we have plans to convert all these food grain warehouses into smart warehouses with introduction of AI, with introduction of IoTs, and basically all kinds of facial recognition and bag counting and technologies like that. So for us, Northeast is serving as a big opportunity for growth, and seeing the cooperation of the state governments over there. We are getting good cooperation from there. Wherever we request for land, we are given for land. In fact, in Assam, we have about 4 lands that we are constructing with the warehouses. And combined with the road infrastructure, the rail infrastructure that we are piloting, and the warehouses, I hope Northeast, the entire Northeast sector, will see a good logistics infrastructure grow up in the state.
Sir, if I may, out of these 546, how many of these are in Northeast?
That's what I said. About 21 right now are there in the Northeast. They offer about 2 lakh metric ton of space. There is one in Sabroom in Tripura, which we just constructed. And there are 5 more warehouses which are under construction. And apart from that, we also have a railside warehouse at Chariali, which is being constructed for boosting the rail infrastructure also. And as the Honorable Minister said, the rail connectivity in Northeast has grown by leaps and bounds, just like the highway infrastructure. Yeah, because earlier I worked in Assam, I know it was basically single line section across the Northeast. Today it's the entirely double line section. And the movement of trains is quite fast in this sector.
I'll come back to you with some more questions, sir. But let me use this moment to come to Shri Rajiv Agarwal ji. Rajiv ji, you are someone who has been, who not only, so today you wear 2 hats, by the way. You also told me you are a member of FINER, which is a regional, Northeast region's industry committee or industry forum. And you, of course, are in your capacity also an entrepreneur. So I'd like you to tell us as to how industry in the Northeast is feeling about infrastructure, what is available, what is happening on the ground. Maybe if that could be a dipstick for things that are happening, and then where is it leading to? What is the infrastructure available and what are the gaps that you see? As industry, you are the fellows who need it the most.
Thank you, Anilji. Honorable Industry Minister, Government of Assam, Bimal Boraji. Thank you for gracing this session and all my fellow panelists. I've had the privilege of being the 5th generation entrepreneur, born and raised in Assam, and the family has endured many highs and lows of the region. And as it was rightly said today by Shri Mukesh Ambani ji, the theme could actually become Roaring Northeast, And we come here just on the backdrop of a very successful Advantage Assam event that was organized by Honorable Borasa along with the Honorable CM Hemanta Biswa ji, Government of Assam. So the kind of change in attitude towards creating an investment climate, in the state of Assam, and which will be now borrowed by the other states of the Northeast, is unprecedented. I think the biggest, requirement of an investor is first to have the state with the right attitude. And I think we are just, having that perfect moment to start with Assam. As far as an investment is concerned for any investor, beyond the attitude comes the practical challenges of availability of the land, availability of the water, the electricity, and now most of the grid can be leveraged to even buy the green power, which is being available throughout the country and which is also very competitive. So the road network, the rail network, and something which is a great missing link, I'm sure the central government will be coming forward to look at that, is the waterways, because it's the cleanest and the cheapest when it comes to per metric ton economics. And I think that's a big miss in terms of leveraging our asset of the river Brahmaputra. But wherein the MSMEs are concerned, the current environment is inviting a lot of investments. We have had almost a commitment of 4 lakh crore plus investments, signed MOUs in the Advantage Assam itself. And today we hear another 4.5 lakh crores. So something like a 10 lakh crore investment, being pushed in Northeast region is something we all need to work towards and see that the maximum implementation happens on the ground. Thank you, sir.
If I may circle back to Shri Bora, sir, I would like to ask you a question about which is a little more broad-based. We're sitting in 2025. If you were to fast forward in 2030, how would you like us to view Northeast? What will be the shape of Northeast, especially Assam, but what will be the shape of Northeast from the infrastructural standpoint? What are things which are under plan? What are things which would have materialized in 2030, sir?
Actually, under the leadership of Honorable PM from 2014, huge development work has been going on. If you see before 2014, only the national highway was 2 lane only. Now it has converted to 4 lane. Before Modi ji came, any big projects, if we need it, then we have to go to agitation. Without agitation, Northeast has not get any project before. But now, you think about our refineries. हमारे जो refineries है, डिगबोई, नुमलीगढ़, बंगाईगांव, गुवाहाटी, इनका जो रिफाइन कैपेसिटी रहा, पहले इनका रिफाइन कैपेसिटी not more than 6 million metric ton per annum. But now it has enhanced up to 13 million metric ton. पहले 70s में हमारे लोग वहाँ पे तो क्रूड ऑयल बहुत एक्सट्रैक्ट होते हैं, तो ये क्रूड ऑयल रिफाइन करने के लिए हमारे असम से पाइपलाइन से बराउनी आते थे पहले। उस टाइम में हम लोग का वहाँ पे नारा लगाया गया था, टेस्ट दिन तेल नहीं दूँ, असमीज में बोलते हैं, मतलब ब्लड देंगे लेकिन क्रूड नहीं देंगे। बट वी हैव नो सफिशिएंट रिफाइन कैपेसिटी, प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा होते हैं, लेकिन इसीलिए हमको तो बराउनी रिफाइन भेजने ही पड़ते हैं। बट नाउ विदाउट एनी एजिटेशन, आफ्टर 14, Honorable PM has gifted us by enhancing all refineries up to more than 13 million metric ton per annum. Now we have to bring crude oil to refine in Assam. इससे सैनरी चेंज होते गए हैं। अभी गैस हमारा वहाँ पे भरपूर गैस है, एक गैस बेस एक इकोनॉमी हम लोग वहाँ पे बना सकते हैं, लेकिन सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का थ्रू से नॉर्थ ईस्ट को हम लोग गैस बेस एक इकोनॉमी हम लोग कैसे कर पाएंगे, इसका ऊपर में कोई धारणा ही नहीं था, कोई देयर इज़ नो आइडिया। बट मोदी जी ने ग्रेट गैस ग्रिड से सारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट को अभी जोड़ दिए हैं। हर नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट कैपिटल का साथ आज ग्रेट गैस ग्रिड से जोड़ने का बाद वो CCD जो सिटी गैस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जो सिस्टम अभी शुरुआत हो चुके हैं, और इसीलिए अभी गैस बेस जितना इंडस्ट्रीज़ है ये अभी ज़बरदस्त आगे बढ़ने लगा। उनका जो फ्यूल जो कंजम्पशन डीजल से अभी चीप होने लगा, लगभग हर घर में आज गैस कनेक्शन का वजह से वो फैमिली होल्डिंग का जो कॉस्टिंग ये रिड्यूस हो रहा है। अलग अलग सिस्टम, अभी सिंगल लाइन रेलवे ट्रैक रहा, अभी डबलिंग हो गया है, इलेक्ट्रिक हो गया है। ये पहले एजिटेशन करना पड़ता था। विदाउट एजिटेशन नॉर्थ ईस्ट हैज़ गेट नथिंग। बट आफ्टर कमिंग मोदी जी, उनका जो विजन है वो उनके मोदी जी का भाषण में हरदम बोलते रहते हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट हमारे देश का अष्टलक्ष्मी है। आज भी इनॉग्रेशन प्रोग्राम में मोदी जी सारे देश को उजागर करने के लिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट को गुणगान किए हैं। ये गुणगान सिर्फ हम लोग को भलाई करने के लिए नहीं, मन अच्छा करने के लिए बोल रहा है, ऐसा नहीं, ये हकीकत है। ये पहले डिस्कवर नहीं किया था नॉर्थ ईस्ट में क्या है, लेकिन अभी नॉर्थ ईस्ट लोगों का अभी मन में अभी खुशहाली आ रहा है, ताकि भारत सरकार ने हम लोग को इतना इम्पोर्टेंस दे रहा है। एवरी फोर्टनाइट कोई ना कोई सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर वहाँ पे दौरा करते ही है। अभी गुवाहाटी एयरपोर्ट एवरी गैप ऑफ 2-3 डेज कोई एक इंडियन मिनिस्टर वहाँ पे लैंडिंग होता ही है, CF होता ही है, और वहाँ पे रह के उस लोकल लोगों का साथ बातचीत हो, खान पान हो, रहन सहन हो, सब ये मन का साथ एक रिश्ता जोड़ने के लिए जो कोशिश हो रहा है। इसीलिए अभी रतन टाटा जी के नाम में जो हमारे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिटी बन रहा है, तो ये टाटा सेमीकंडक्टर जब वहाँ पे एस्टेब्लिश हो गया है, उसका बाद नॉर्थ ईस्ट के बारे में जो आदमी लोगों का मन में जो धारणा था, जो ध्यान था, अभी बदल चुका है। पहले ऐसा हमारा देशवासी हो ग्लोबली हो, नॉर्थ ईस्ट का ऊपर में जो कॉन्सेप्ट रहा, इतना जानकारी नहीं था। लेकिन जब जानकारी नहीं था, बट जब टाटा ने वहाँ पे जब लैंडिंग हो गया है, उसके बाद आदमी लोग ने इंक्वायरी करना शुरू किया, व्हाट इज़ नॉर्थ ईस्ट, वेयर नॉर्थ ईस्ट, क्या मिल सकते हैं। तो इसलिए अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में, अलग अलग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स में अभी नॉर्थ ईस्ट आगे बढ़ने का जो कदम उठा रहा है, इसीलिए वो अंबानी जी भी बोला है, इट्स नॉट राइजिंग, इट्स रोइंग। थैंक यू।
I'm glad you said that, sir. I like one sentence which you used. You were as Northeast president, you were craving for infrastructure. You were agitating for it, and now you're getting infrastructure without agitation.
Yes, without
So I'm glad you made that statement, which should be headline. But now that the national recognition is with you, the central government's impetus is with you. There's sufficient support coming in from all sectors. This is an investors forum. I'm sure there are investors listening to you. I'm just trying to figure out if you can, kind of paint that picture. Going forward, 5 years, where do you see Northeast, from here? What part of investments should come in Northeast? There is definite advantage that I see. I'm a logistics man. From logistics standpoint, there's already an advantage. Northeast is a consumer economy. There's a lot of consumption there, and hence a lot of freight going into Northeast is higher than what freight is coming back. So definitely any industry, any sector, any business which requires freight as part of their business would love to be in Northeast for a simple reason. Freight cost or logistics cost would be cheaper. So that's industry. But in terms of Northeast development, from your standpoint, Assam's development, how do you see 5 years from now? Where is it going to reach from there?
During the investor summit, Advantage Assam 2.0, we have met lots of investors nationally and globally. And whenever we talk in between, then everybody shows their willingness to invest in North, especially Assam. As I have already mentioned in my speech that during 4 to 5 hours duration, we can connect more than 30% of global population in Southeast Asian country. So in lots of focus point we have, such flavor and fragrance, ये आगर, हमारे वहाँ पे आगर का बहुत ज़्यादा खेती होता है सारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में। ये आगर से हम लोग फ्लेवर एंड फ्रेगनेंस अभी काफ़ी वर्ल्ड मार्केट में, स्पेशली मिडिल ईस्ट में ऐसा बहुत मार्केट है, डिमांड है। तो इस सिलसिले में हम लोग सोच सकता हूँ ये जो लॉजिस्टिक एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन जो सिस्टम है और जो एग्रीकल्चरल एंड हॉर्टिकल्चरल सेक्टर में, वहाँ पे भी बहुत हमारी पोटेंशियल है, ताकि ये लॉजिस्टिक एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इस सिस्टम में, और जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक जो अभी हम लोग सिटी असम में बना रहा हूँ, अभी अलग अलग कंट्री का साथ भी हम लोग का साथ बातचीत होते रह रहा है। और साथों साथ हमारे एक नया पॉलिसी, स्पेशली इन असम, we have introduced a new policy, but not new policy. पहले हम लोग जो ट्रेडिशनल जो पॉलिसीज़ है वो भी जो है ही, और उन्नति अभी चल रहा है। लेकिन हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने एक नया something unique introduce a policy. It's called customized policy. Any investors, if he can invest in Assam more than 100 crore and generate more than 200 employment, then we can provide all kind of support whichever we give him as per our capacity. Yeah, and by this customized policy, already more than 50,000 crores has already landed, especially cement. Lots of cement industries is coming, and steel manufacturers also coming, and other like pulp and paper, and very ecosystem, very now good at healthy ecosystem is going on. So I think इस विषय में अगर आप लोग चर्चा करेंगे, ये लॉजिस्टिक एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में जो लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, इसमें ज़रूर बहुत कुछ मसला निकाल सकते हैं.
Clearly, sir. Clearly. Thankful, sir. Thankful. May I ask Shri Sinha, sir, one question. As Mr. Bora was mentioning, there's a phenomenal range of agri-products, and I want to focus on agri-products from the logistical standpoint, because while there are 17 cargo terminals around Northeast, there's yet, in my view, evacuation of those, that quantity of agri-products is not finding its full potential. You mentioned about food grade warehouses amongst those 21 logistics warehouses that you'd set up. Going forward, how do you see this fitting? Because infrastructure, while it is developing, there's a range of wonderful agri-products which are some of the best in the world. I'm told kiwis, I've not had some, but kiwis from Arunachal are compared to some of the best in the world. Oranges being produced or grown in lower Arunachal is something that needs evacuation, and we don't have the nature of infrastructure there. How's infrastructure shaping up from this standpoint, sir? Food grade base.
Actually, what happened is that you are right. The Northeast was hitherto a consumption center, and a lot of traffic goes into it, and there is actually an issue in getting traffic back. For instance, Railways also recently issued a policy where they were transporting tiles from the Gujarat area into Northeast, and they were giving an incentive of 50% return back. But this was quite insightful what Honorable Minister Sahab ne jo bhi bola hai, ki yes, with these agri products, you see we already have warehouses. The Northeast warehouses don't need any temperature control, especially these agri products. And we will definitely look into it. And since we are already into containerization, our transportation is also through containerization. So this will help lower the logistics cost into the Northeast. Because if you have return load over there, obviously that goes into further subsidizing the cost which goes into the Northeast. So it's a very welcome step. We will also go into a deep study into that and see what we can do over there.
Rajiv ji, I might want to ask you this question specifically from the logistical standpoint. As Shri Sinha was mentioning, there's sufficient amount of cargo going in. Being a consumption economy, a lot less is coming back. From the industry standpoint, if I can use your mind from the industrial standpoint, what are the logistical impetus that you see happening? How have you used this logistical impetus to develop, or how can Northeast businesses use this logistical impetus to sell their wares all across the country, all across the world? You've used a phrase of Northeast being ASEAN of India in your mind, in your language. Please do explain.
Sure, I think the cultural diversity that we see in Northeast is very unique to the entire country, with so many tribes and cultures staying together throughout the region of Northeast. So it is India's own mini ASEAN, And what Sir just mentioned, Bimal Sir, that in a 1 hour flight or 1.5 hour flight, you are in Thailand. In 1.5 hour flight, you are in Singapore. And in maybe another 2 hours flight or 3 hours flight, you can be in a place like Bali. So, and obviously, there can be so many other Chinese cities that we can name when we want to fly from Northeast, not just Guwahati. Flights could be even from other states of Northeast. So when we talk about logistics for cash crops, we don't need rail transport for cash crops. What we really need, because these are perishables, we may need air cargoes, and we may need the air shipment in a much more competitive manner, which may not be currently the case, which maybe this forum today can represent. And Northeast is a hub of medicinal plants, a hub of products like agar. Agar is a rare commodity in the world. Most of us now know about oud, becoming a favorite perfume. Most of the younger generation have started using oud. It's the Gen Z perfume right now. So everything is now coming out of Northeast, but people don't know. This oud goes to Middle East, gets packaged, and then comes back to India. So there could be startups who could actually start leveraging this, and we could have our own perfume brands out of Northeast. So I think when we talk about logistics, it's not just a rail, and it's not just something bulk. We should also talk about quick commerce. We should also talk about e-commerce. And I think with the hill states, we should know that most of the Myntra, sales on the e-commerce was in the hill states, where people may have been having issues, traveling outside the region. They were all, and as you rightly mentioned, it's a consumer economy. Most of these online brands, they sell, high revenue annual sales in the Northeast region. So yes, we talk rail, we talk air, we also talk about the smaller packages, everyone's brother, sister, children, wife, and now even mothers and fathers are ordering online. So this ecosystem also needs a representation, and this will also help the Northeast industries start selling outside the region beyond the bulk evacuation. One point, sir, I will just stretch my discussion. Sir mentioned about the multi-logistics park coming in Jogigopa, multimodal logistics park. So academically, if the rail, the road, and the river comes all together, and we don't need to do any internal transportation of our raw materials or our finished goods, where we manufacture and we load it, and it's just transported out of region. It will make a lot of sense for these heavy industries and for the EV kind of ecosystem to thrive in Assam. And then the other states also start following wherever these economics work out. So not everything can work out for every state, but tourism is an answer for every state. So I think the first invitation is not to just invest, but to visit Northeast. I hope sir could echo that message. Thank you.
Ankit, I would like to come back to you for another question. This is around the logistics side of things. As Rajiv ji mentioned about e-commerce or web commerce businesses, there are a lot of people around Northeast who are buying. All this, of course, is being served by last mile logistics. So, last mile delivery is the backbone of all this e-commerce boom that we are seeing. Specifically from the highways side, you mentioned about national highways. Of course, last mile logistics is deep inroads into states. So where does the state highways picture in this logistics growth of not only businesses, but also, of course, all the other developments that I spoke of, whether it is tourism, whether it is industrial, but specifically on the state highway side? Where does the logistics picture look like there?
Sure. So actually state highways or I mean if the state can has its own body, like we have UP-ADA in UP or say like we have MPRDC in Maharashtra, this can play a good role because see when while NHI plans a lot of highways, but NHI tries to connect important cities where there is already a good amount of traffic. What NHI doesn't do is they don't create traffic by say making roads or by making say industrial cities. Now what happens is when you look at say a UPADA kind of a model, you can say that okay, you develop a road and you purchase land around it, and then you plan say some manufacturing cities around it, or some say residential hubs or things like that. So you create an entire ecosystem within the state itself. So that ways it will help a lot. Secondly, I mean some of the local area connectivities. So while as I think we in roads we call it as a chicken neck road, the national highway which connects to the mainland India. But what happens is inside some of the smaller cities can be connected through state highways. What we need to make sure is that state highway body should not compete with national highway, but complement national highway. Because what we have seen a lot of times is that that there are two parallel roads which are being made, one by national highway and one by state highway, and both of them eating the traffic. So I think both the bodies can work in a joint manner, wherein state highways can make smaller roads, and those roads can be done on say either EPC model, HAM model with a smaller ticket size, so that it can also bring in a lot of local players who can actually become big players of after making some of these say smaller contracts. Like if you see big players in road sector, they would like to have say maybe a 2,000 crore to 3,000 crore kind of a contract. Medium-sized player would like to have say maybe 5 to 600 crore kind of a contract. And typically cost today is like almost around 10 to 12 crores per kilometer. So when you talk about say some of the local roads or improvisation of some of the local roads, maybe a 200 crores kind of a project, 300 crores kind of a project, those kind of projects local players can also take up. So that will also give a boost to that segment of the economy.
Shibura, I want to ask you another question, sir. All these industries that have been coming there, more are, of course, a lot more investment is coming through. To my understanding, Northeast also has one of the highest literacy rates in terms of the population. Some of the finest and most hardworking people there. In terms of skilling, in terms of providing skilled labor, in terms of providing skilled manpower, skilled personnel on the technology park that you mentioned, how is the state as well as how is Northeast India providing support to make sure that the right kind of manpower, the right kind of people are available for doing all that, for handling all that investment and sticking with it?
In terms of skill development, our government is going to set up a skill university at Mongolway, which has already been started, the construction works. On the other hand, we have established lots of ITIs and more than 13 numbers of polytechnic, where various technical, definitely education will be provided, schemes will be provided. On the other hand, from our industry side and as well as our skill development the department है, ये दोनों department हमारे जो educated और uneducated भी, uneducated below graduation, इन लोगों का साथ भी हम स्किलिंग का अलग अलग प्रोग्राम कंटिन्यूसली हम लोग करते रहते हैं. और हार्ड वर्किंग तो है ही, क्योंकि हमारा असम में साई है, टी है, और आवर टी हैज़ 200 years of legacy from 1823. Tea has started, and warehousing and logistic sector has provided lots of services to our tea industry. And in tea industry, we have also big numbers of skilled laborers are there. On the other hand, other sector also now is growing. So there is no scarcity for skilled labor, and our government has taken initiative, lots of by establishing Polytechnic already mentioned, Skill University, and other institutions.
I'm glad, sir, that this, because of course all that industry which is coming in requires manpower to make sure that they not only function well, but they also prosper. Sinha Sahab, I would like to ask you about another question about automation. From the logistics standpoint, with increased development of modern day automation in terms of robotics, in terms of storage, in terms of palletization, you're already handling container terminals and container freight trains. It need not necessarily be a northeast answer, but from your viewpoint, how is automation looking in logistics, and how does that fit in terms of the fast moving throughput that current day modern logistics requires?
You see, that's a very vast area that you are talking about. Anyway, that automation, there can be, broadly I can divide it, as far as we are concerned, we can divide it into basically two types of automation. One is basically in the warehousing sector, and the other is in the logistics, especially the containerized traffic movement sector. So, as far as the warehousing sector is concerned, what CWC follows is a twofold policy. As I said about food grains, and food grains, CWC is a major participant in the National Food Security Act. And it is incumbent upon us to ensure that the storage losses, on one hand, the storage losses are minimized, and on the other hand, we are able to store as much as possible. So that is where our own automation comes into play. And again, the cost of storage also, minimizing that is also one of our main jobs. And that is where we use automation, basically something like IoTs, which automatically measure the level of phosphine, level of carbon dioxide. The weather station outside also decides when to open the gates, when not to open the gates. And the safety of the food storage can be carried out by use of smart locks. We have started using smart locks for ensuring safety of the product that we store. And then we have now started using back counting and facial recognition as something which is not only ensuring that the set protocols are met, but at the same time, there is a mechanized way of knowing what is coming into your warehouse without any manual input. So that is what the storage automation is about. Regarding the non-food grain warehouses, the USP of CWC is that we build grade A warehouses where we give an offer of build to suit to our clients. And we have a lot of e-commerce companies as clients. And e-commerce companies, they bring in their own, for instance, Amazon brings in their own technology, Zomato will bring in their own technology. So that way, that is another level of automation which is happening in those warehouses. Now the other portion is the containerized traffic automation. As all of us know, the containerized traffic normally involves movement in terminals and outside it. So how to automate movement inside the warehouse and the storage inside the warehouse? You see, any reasonable terminal would be handling something like about 1 million TUs a year. And involving a manual element into it will not only ensure loss of efficiency, but it will also be costly. So we are introducing technologies in our ICTs and terminals where you would have automation at the gate, where as soon as you enter the terminals, you are automatically driven to a point where your container is to be stored. No manual input into it. It will go there, and the container movement is continuously tracked through various devices, so that The customer also knows कि आपका container कहाँ पे है, किस समय है. We are tying up with the seaports that the moment the container leaves the seaport, the customer gets a real-time visibility of our terminals. I think this is the level of automation that we can.
Wonderful, sir. I think we've run out of time, but I still think, the audience, given the patience listening that they've done, must have a couple of questions. I might want to take a couple of those. Does anybody have any question for the panel members here? Otherwise, I can do a wrap. All right. Can we have the mic in the first row, please?
Hi.
Please
So
state your name, the
Yeah.
organization you work for, who do you want to address the question
Okay.
to?
Yeah, hi. So my name is Tushar Gupta and I'm a founder of OK Driver where we build device for drowsiness detection and for road safety. So my question is for Boraji. So and how we can collaborate like with government of Assam in terms of road safety. In road safety, I mean, for example, anything like pit holes, like accidents happening due to drowsiness, distracted drivers, cameras. So we are building a solution for tracking and monitoring of the accidents and helping them, the drivers basically.
So if I was to change that question a little, specifically instead of just his organization, if you could just kind of broaden that to not only specifically this application, but